David Hingle, joystick.com, and I'm going to show you guys the ESPN on-demand stuff that comes with the Xbox 360 Fall Dashboard update. So, as you saw at E3, ESPN is promising a lot of on-demand content for the Xbox 360, and it covers a wide variety of sports. Um, and I'm going to dive into it pretty much. It looks a lot like it did at E3, and you have this kind of hub world area where you get several different pieces of content that you can check out. So right there going on live right now is the World Series of Poker. We scroll over and we can see there's some CFL stuff, a replay of a soccer game, and Sports Center. So Sports Center is kind of dedicated right over to the right, and you can just jump in and watch it. So Sports Center is a big property for ESPN, and
right
as you can see there, it's in HD. And
as far as
some of the content on here is kind of weird. It doesn't start out as HD, but it kind of gets there as you start. I don't know if that's pretty much my internet connection or just a feature of the service, but it takes a couple seconds for the visual quality to get there. And then you saw that neat little thing where you can kind of just jump out, and then it'll still play there on the screen. And so if you want to watch it with a bunch of virtual avatar friends, I guess you can go that route. So here's a World Series of Poker, which is pretty neat. I can jump right into it, and I can bring up the info pane and see where I'm at in the program, and pretty much go that route. But what I'm going to show you is pretty neat later on is I can actually restart this program, and even though it's live, I can say, okay, well, I came into it late. Well, let me start it from the beginning. But I'll show you that later. So I'm going to move on over to the left pane here, the furthest left pane. And this is the all section. So this is how you jump into everything that ESPN3 has to offer. There was one thing you may have noticed when I first booted up the app, the channel, is that you needed an ESPN3.com affiliated ISP provider. I'm not sure what that's all about. I have Comcast internet, so there's no problem for me. But with certain internet providers, you may run into a little bit of difficulty. So here's the on-demand events, and these are replays of college football games. A wide variety of sports that you can check out. Football's obviously big right now this time of year. Then you get upcoming events, which you can see. It tells you time and place for this. The only thing I don't like is I wish there would be some functionality like 1 versus 100 where I could set a reminder. Because I would like to watch that Braves game, but I can't. I have to be at my Xbox at that specific time and know to hop in there. So there's also highlights, and here you can see you can just hop right into either Sports Center highlights or some other stuff. But you get full functionality. Like with all video content, I can fast forward. I don't want to listen to those two talk. I want to see the stats. I want to, get into the meat of it. I can jump forward and, jump back wherever I want and everything. And then of course, when you jump out, you can still get that content there playing for you. Then there's a My Sports section. These are things, it's just shortcuts really that let me get to the content, the sports that I like. So, for example, I can just hit that football, get all the highlights. Sadly, no games. There's no football games, which seems like a big deal, and it is a big deal, but I can jump right in, see. Same thing with MLB. I can go in, see some of the other content ESPN has to offer about baseball, Mike and Mike's show, all this other kind of stuff, and also see the upcoming events. But again, no reminders. That's kind of a big deal for me. And then boxing, I like boxing. I can jump in and see some stuff with boxing. And so it's all customizable. I can go in to browse all here and then go to different sports, and I'm scrolling through looking at stuff. You see the little stars on certain sports that I'm actually following there in my sports menu area. But if I go in here and I just browse and I see something like, oh, I want to keep up to date on that, I can just hit a button, drop it into my sports. It's easier to get to those specific highlights, that specific content, like NHRA here if I like racing. But I can hop back in and then say, oh, well, I didn't mean to do that. I can hit another button, just get it out of there. So very easy, very intuitive, very Netflix-like in that you can add and subtract content pretty much on the fly. I would have liked to see more of ESPN's original programming in here, though. These are obviously original programs like Rome is Burning and stuff like that, but ESPN itself did some really wonderful kind of drama content. So it's not, it's kind of upsetting not to see that stuff. But, for the most part, there's a lot of different stuff to check out. I can jump right into Rome is Burning interview with Kobe here and Derek Fisher. And, it's, as you can see, the video, again, the quality takes it a couple seconds to get there, but, it tells me it's in HD. So, but yeah, if you don't have cable, or if you don't, if you're on your Xbox more than you're on your TV, it's a good way to get bite-sized little pieces of content, but again, with telling me when these live events are on, it's, kind of upsetting. I would like to see some kind of reminder functionality. But as you can see here, now I'm going to demonstrate the ability to be able to start a live program from the beginning. If you're late to it, that's pretty useful. So if I'm like, running an hour behind, or I got a time wrong on something, as long as I hop into the event when it's going on, I can, hit a button, start it from the beginning. So, and there you go, as you can see.
Wins the championship.
So overall, pretty useful stuff, and that's ESPN for the Xbox 360, and I'm David Hinkle, joystick.com. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.